In this episode, we are going to show you how we explored Cambodian temple culture
and dive deep into the Cambodian countryside.
Before we arrived in the city of Phnom Penh,
where we learnt about Cambodia's dark past.
Are you ready, baby?
Ready.
So, we're about to get ready and leave this beautiful place here. We're on our way to Phnom Penh. Phnom
Penh.
Phnom Penh. Well, actually, it's going to be very interesting for us because we're going there to have a look at the memorial of the genocide, of the Cambodian genocide and the killing fields. So we're actually very much looking forward to that cultural part of our trip and learning what has happened here. We've been reading a lot in the last few days about it, and we're kind of exciting to see. But also, like, exciting is probably not the right word for it. It's probably more...
I don't know, I'm feeling a bit apprehensive because
Yeah.
it's going to be quite confronting, I think. But very interesting, but also very sad.
sad, but important to know, I think. It's
Yeah.
very important to know. So I hope we get a good ride there. But first, we're going to look at some pepper fields and some temples. Ready? Let's go. And the Cambodian sun was still super bright, so time to protect our eyes. And this was something we would see quite often. The weddings take place on the streets and they go on for 3 days. Can you imagine the hangover? We spotted a cute cafe and stopped for a quick coffee and water break when I was wondering where the pepper fields were we were supposed to see, because we should have passed them almost 20 minutes ago. So somehow we missed the pepper fields. They just disappeared from our navigation and we just kept driving and driving, not thinking about it. So anyway, I'm pretty sure we're gonna find some pepper fields somewhere else. Let's go off to the temples now.
We made our way through the small streets with lots of little market stands on each side to reach the temple of Kaoh Andaet. As soon as we arrived, the monks, who were surprisingly young, welcomed us, packed out their instruments and started to play for us. They invited us into their temple, where we had to take our motorcycle boots off to get in. Considering the temperature, we kindly declined not to harm anyone with the smell of our feet. But the whole combination of this experience with the music, the monks, the temple, the statues, it was all just magical.
Since it was still about 40 degrees with no breeze going at all, we had to stay cool somehow. That's not
Huh?
that's not appropriate for YouTube.
That's for you. Your turn.
My turn. It's not even that cold like the last time, it's just hot water.
Your poop has been rotting.
And with the music slowly getting quieter, it was also time for us to leave this magical place. With the road conditions still being bad, we were on our way to temple number 2.
From far away, we could already see that the temple was on the only hill in the area, overlooking the rest of the country. So we made our way up and paid the entrance fee.
$2. $1 $2.
One person, $2. Yeah. Can we pay in, how is that currency again?
And after Oli performed an amazing turning maneuver, we reached the Chisor mountain temple.
Shit.
Is that the toilet? It's like a cow in here. So we are running the shot. With all the temples around us, there was still only one true love for us. It's hot. It's really, really hot. I mean, but it's true, look. We made our way down the hill and waved goodbye to the entrance ladies. Before we made our way back to dusty Cambodian roads.
The roadworks were still everywhere, and we were again eating a lot of dust. Or got very, very close to trucks. And just for the record, the guy controlling the traffic waved us in and said we can just go. It's all fine, no oncoming traffic. We decided to head for the countryside, and soon there were signs that we'd reached it. It was beautifully quiet out here, with just rice fields around us. We could only imagine what it must look like when the rice fields are in full bloom. Just moments later, the luck was on our side, and we saw some rice paddies in full bloom.
With the sun slowly setting, we had to make our way to Phnom Penh. Not before being impressed by Cambodian loading skills again. Maddi wanted to see the statue a bit closer, so I again took some extra turns. We arrived in Phnom Penh at our accommodation and got ready for some big lessons in Cambodian history. And the arrival temperature is 40 degrees. Fair to say, it is hot this time. Being in Phnom Penh now, we were on our way to first visit the Tuol Genocide Museum, which was the former S21 security prison, and the Cheong Ek Genocidal Center, a former so-called killing field, to understand what has happened in Cambodia in the past. We learned that between 1975 and 1979, the Cambodian Communist Party, whose members were known as the Khmer Rouge, ruled Cambodia with an iron fist and murdered a quarter of the Cambodian population. Cambodians were held and tortured in prison camps such as S21 in Phnom Penh because of their ethnicity or because they were classified as political opponents, and then taken to the killing fields, where they were murdered. When the Khmer Rouge came to power, they dreamed of transforming Cambodia into a classless, self-sufficient society with rice farms and condemned Western capitalist imperialism. Driven by the US bombings in the wake of the Vietnam War and Prince Sihanouk's public calls to arms, many Cambodians were persuaded to join the Khmer Rouge, triggering a 5-year civil war. After the rebels around their leader Pol Pot had taken the capital Phnom Penh and therefore winning the civil war, they imprisoned, tortured and executed anyone who could be linked to the previous government in security prisons such as S21 with very harsh rules. The 2.5 million inhabitants of the city, mainly educated people, were classified as intellectuals and therefore enemies of the revolution. They were forcibly evacuated and forced to work on the countryside. These newly formed labor groups were expected to produce an unattainable amount of rice. Malnutrition, untreated diseases, overwork and exhaustion, and the high number of murders of potential opponents led to deaths in the millions. The unattainable production rates of rice made the Khmer Rouge paranoid, and they interpreted the lack of production as sabotage of the revolution. Therefore, they began arresting and killing their own members. The prisoners were tortured and then taken to the killing fields, where they were executed and buried. Phnom Penh itself held approximately 129 mass graves. Tortures were meant not only to force prisoners to confess, but for the prison guards' amusement. They were so atrocious and heinous that the prisoners tried in every way to commit suicide, even using spoons. Murders were carried out with metal tools such as nails and hammers in order to save bullets. Babies and children were taken away from their mothers and sent to the killing fields, where they were smashed against the so-called chankiri tree. There were over 150 torture and execution centers throughout Cambodia and over 20,000 mass graves. Around 18,000 people were killed in S21 alone, and only 12 people survived, 8 adults and 4 children. In total, between 1.5 and 2 million people were murdered between 1975 and 1979, about 25% of the Cambodian population. After 4 years of brutality, Vietnamese troops took control of the country in 1979. They built memorials on the killing fields and erected a stupa filled with the skulls of the victims on the killing field of Chung Ek. We visited the area and the stupa and laid flowers in memory of the victims of this genocide. Alright, so I think you all can understand that with this time I'm not going for the all happy and exciting outro.
Yeah, what we experienced in Phnom Penh that day, we still talk about it even now. It was just horrific and shocking, and I actually didn't even learn anything about that in school or anywhere else.
Yeah.
And like the fact that it's happened so recently, like in our parents' generation, really, really shocked me.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't learn anything either about it. It's just never in school or anywhere else. So yeah, we can just hope that humanity, like, I don't know, learn from that, from those big mistakes, and humanity will actually never let this happen again. Yeah, no, happy, excited outro this time. I guess we'll see you in the next episode.
Yep.
And see you then.
Bye.